Humanity had explored space for many years, but most of it was still empty and silent. Far beyond known star maps, a small human-scanned drone moved through the dark. It was sent to search for energy signals, nothing more. No one expected history to change that day. Suddenly, the drone stopped sending normal data. At first, scientists thought it was a system error. The numbers on the screens made no sense. The object ahead was too large, bigger than any moon, bigger than most planets. It was not natural. The drone scanned again, and again. Every scan showed the same result. A massive structure, cold and dark, floating in deep space. Its surface was smooth, metallic, and endless. No starlight reflected from it. It absorbed the darkness itself. Human leaders were informed at once. More scanned ships were sent. All confirmed the truth. This was not a planet. It was not an asteroid. It was a ship so large that it could hold cities. A ship older than many stars around it. No known alien race had ever built anything close to this size. The galaxy had many powerful empires, but none of them claimed it. No records, no warnings, no stories matched what humanity was seeing. As the ships moved closer, faint lights appeared on the surface. Orange lines slowly lit up, like veins waking after a long sleep. Ancient symbols appeared, glowing softly. Then the signal came. Not a message, not words, a response. The ship had noticed them. In that moment, humanity understood one thing clearly. This discovery was never meant to be found. And now that it was awake, nothing in the galaxy would remain the same. Human ships did not rush forward. They stayed at a safe distance, watching the massive structure in silence. No weapons were ready. No shield were raised. Everyone felt the same thing. This ship was not dead. Slowly, one human vessel moved closer. Its scanners worked at full power, but the ship did not react. No attacks. No warnings. Only silence. The surface was covered in deep marks, like scars. Some parts were broken, torn by weapons that no longer existed. Others were frozen solid, as if time itself had stopped there. This ship had been in space for longer than human history. Scans reached inside. What they found shocked everyone. There were vast empty halls, streets wide enough for thousands to walk side by side, towers and chambers built for a species far larger than humans. But there were no bodies, no signs of life, no battle damage inside. It was not destroyed from within. It was abandoned. Energy readings were strange. Power still flowed through parts of the ship, slow and weak, like a sleeping heart. Systems were still running, waiting for something or someone. Scientists searched old alien records. Most species had legends of ancient world ships. Stories told of a race that once traveled between galaxies, carrying their entire civilization with them. That race was gone. No one knew how or why. As the human ship drifted closer, the massive structure turned slightly. Not fast, not sudden, just enough to face them. Then a deep signal echoed through space. It was not a threat. It was not a greeting. It was a memory. Images filled human screens. Stars dying, galaxies burning, civilizations fading into dust. This ship had not fought wars. It had survived them. And now, after watching the galaxy die once, it had finally found humanity. Human ships were not alone for long. The signal from the giant ship spread far into space. It was old, powerful, and impossible to hide. Across the galaxy, listening stations went silent as ancient alarms woke up. Alien governments reacted at once. Messages flooded human channels. Some were calm, some were afraid, others were angry. Many demanded answers. A few demanded control. Older species recognized the signal. They did not speak loudly. They spoke carefully. In their oldest records, there were warnings about something called the world carriers. Planet-sized ships built by a race that existed before most current civilizations. These ships were not weapons. They were lifeboats, created to save life when galaxies burned. And every record ended the same way. The builders vanished. No one knew why. Fear spread quickly. If humanity had found one of these ships, then the old balance of the galaxy was broken. Younger species watched in silence. Powerful empires moved their fleets closer, pretending it was only for observation. But everyone knew the truth. They were afraid of humans. Humanity tried to stay calm. They shared scan data openly. They invited observers. They made one thing clear. They did not control the ship. Yet, then something unexpected happened. When alien ships approached, the giant structure remained silent. No lights, no movement, no response. But when human ships moved closer, the surface lights slowly brightened. Doors that ignored others began to open only for humans. The message was clear. The ship was choosing. Panic turned into anger. Some alien leaders accused humanity of lying. Others accused them of manipulation. A small alien fleet moved too close. The ship reacted. Without firing a single weapon, space around the fleet bent. Engines failed. Systems shut down. The ships drifted helplessly, alive but powerless. It was a warning. The galaxy understood something terrifying. The ship was awake, and it was listening to humanity. For days, humanity studied the ship from a distance. They did not try to take control. They did not force entry. They only watched and listened. That patience mattered. Slowly, the ship allowed more access. Human teams were permitted inside certain areas. The doors opened only when humans approached. Alien observers could only watch from outside. Inside, the ship felt different. The air was stable. The gravity adjusted itself to human bodies. Light changed based on movement. It was as if the ship understood them. Deep within the structure, something ancient awakened. An intelligence, not a ruler, not a master, a guardian. It spoke without sound. Images and feelings filled human minds. The builders of the ship had searched the galaxy for a species that could survive loss, fear, and change. A species that failed often but never stopped trying. They had found many powerful races. But power always turned to control. Humanity was different. Humans fought each other, but they also helped strangers. They destroyed, but they rebuilt. They feared the unknown, yet still reached for it. The builders did not want rulers of the galaxy. They wanted caretakers. The ship explained its purpose. It was not built to dominate. It was built to preserve life when everything else fell apart. And it had been waiting, not for the strongest species, but for one that could choose restraint. Outside, alien leaders argued. They demanded answers. They demanded access. Some prepared for war. Inside the ship, humanity made a choice. They would not use the ship to rule. They would use it to protect. When the ship accepted this decision, its systems fully awakened. Power flowed again through ancient halls. The sleeping giant was no longer alone. The galaxy felt it, and for the first time, the stars looked at humanity, not as a weak species, but as something far more dangerous. The galaxy did not trust humanity's choice. Many alien leaders said humans were lying. They believed no young species would refuse such power. Fear grew stronger than reason, and fear always looks for an enemy. A powerful alien alliance made a decision. They would take the ship by force. Their fleets gathered in secret. Thousands of warships moved through space, surrounding the ancient giant. Humanity sent messages asking them to stop. There was no reply. The first attack came without warning. Energy weapons struck the ship's surface. Bright flashes filled space. Human crews waited in silence, unsure if the ship would respond. It did. The giant structure did not fire weapons. It did something worse. Space itself bent. Alien ships lost control. Their engines failed. Weapons shut down. Shields collapsed. Entire fleets froze in place, trapped like insects in glass. Human commanders were shocked. They had not asked for this. The ship acted on its own. A single message echoed across all channels. Simple and clear. This space is protected. Some alien ships tried to flee. The ship allowed them to escape. Others continued to attack. Those ships vanished. Not destroyed. Not broken. Gone. The remaining fleets retreated in panic. No victory songs. No final words. Only fear. Humanity stood between the ship and the galaxy. They sent one final message. They did not threaten. They warned. The ship was not a weapon of conquest. It was a shield. Any force that tried to take it would fail. Across the galaxy, silence followed. Old empires realized something terrible. Humanity did not control the ship. The ship trusted humanity, and that trust made humans more dangerous than any fleet. As the stars grew quiet, one truth spread everywhere. The age of ignoring humanity was over. After the battle, the galaxy changed. The great fleets pulled back. Borders grew quiet. Old empires stopped making demands. For the first time in a long age, smaller species felt safe. Humanity did not chase power. They stayed near the giant ship, learning from it. They repaired ancient systems. They listened to its memories. They understood the pain of the builders, a race that had tried to save everything and lost almost all of it. The ship did not belong to humanity. It traveled with them. Together, they became guardians of balance. When stars grew unstable, the ship helped move life away. When wars threatened entire systems, its presence alone was enough to stop them. Humanity made mistakes. They argued. They disagreed. But they always chose restraint. Alien worlds watched carefully. They expected humans to become rulers. Instead, humans became protectors. Not because they were perfect, but because they remembered what it meant to be weak and afraid. Slowly, trust replaced fear. Trade routes reopened. Old enemies talked instead of fighting. The galaxy healed, piece by piece. One day, a small alien child asked a simple question. Why did the great ship choose humans? The answer spread across the stars. Because humans see life as something to protect, not control. The ancient ship continued its journey, no longer alone. Humanity stood beside it, not above it. They did not conquer the galaxy. They earned their place in it. And as the stars burned on, one truth remained clear to all who watched the skies. When the galaxy needed guardians, it found humanity.